always great catching with my next guest. Loopy Godinez has got a big fight coming up here against Mackenzie Dern, UFC Fight Night, August 3rd. Doesn't get much better than this. Loopy, how's it going?
Really good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm not going to be fighting Mackenzie Dern, obviously, because I'm a guy and I don't fight in the UFC. But how excited were you? Because this is, I would say this is one of the biggest names you've ever fought in your career.
Yeah, I mean, this is the biggest fight in my career, and I'm really excited. I've been putting a lot of work into it, and I feel confident. I have improved a lot. I have learned a lot since my last fight. So I'm just, looking forward to get back in there and do my job.
Was this a fight you kind of figured was going to happen at some point? Maybe not after your last one, but did you feel like you two were going to cross paths?
Yeah. I honestly thought she was next. We kind of, me and my team talk about it, and we had a feeling she was next.
Okay.
And yeah, so I wasn't surprised when they give me this one.
Yeah, you can kind of look at the rankings and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned the Virna fight there. What did you kind of take away the most from that performance that you're bringing into this fight?
Yeah, it was a lot of chaos leading to that fight. I had to move camp to Vegas, and it was a lot of changes, a lot of new things going on at the same time. I was getting ready for the fight. A lot of I had to go to Vegas, and you gotta get used to a new bed, new food, new time to train, new schedule, everything. And I feel like I did that in a crucial moment where is the weeks that are the most important to wrap up the training, to be the most stable, to be the more focused. I think that's what happened, but I learned from that. I am not doing that again. Last comeback that happened because the tough for Alexa happened.
Oh, right. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, gotcha.
So that's why we all went. Like all the coaches went, my training partners and everything, and it was great. But at the same time, it was a lot of new things. It was a lot of new stuff, a lot of unknown things, and I'm just happy to be just here and to finish my camp here, to start here, to finish here, and to that's it.
Well, and it's familiar for you, right? And ever since you made the switch, that's really when we've seen you have some of your best performances. So it's kind of like, don't change anything if things are going well, right? So I can understand that even from a mental perspective.
Yeah, exactly. And I love it here, the food, the weather, the people, my teammates, everything is amazing. And that change, it was a little bit like I didn't like it. It was like the two or three longest weeks of my life, to be honest.
Right.
But this camp has been going so fast, it's been going so smooth. I'm just ready to jump in the cage. Weight is great. Yeah.
So obviously, stylistically, we know Mackenzie's great on the ground. She's got one of the best ground games in the game, but her striking's come along a little bit as well. Is it just a typical striker, or I guess in your case, striker wrestler against submission artist, or how are you looking at this fight stylistically?
She's great on the ground. Of course, she has been working on her hands and all her game for, to get better, of course. But I do see a lot of holes in her game that we will capitalize on them. And and yeah, I really truly feel that I have what it takes to beat her.
Okay, there we go. Training camp, usual training partners who have been some of the main people that are helping you get ready for this fight.
Yeah, so Colin Danes is here helping me with the wrestling, and Francisco Grasso, of course, and Omar. He's gonna be in my corner too. Alexa Grasso, Gabby, she's a world champion in jiu-jitsu. We got
No worries. I know we'd be here all day. Yeah, no, for sure. I was curious about, so Alexa, I know, had to come to Vegas because obviously she was doing the filming, and I know she did some media as well because of the Sphere opening up and all that. So was she, how long was she at a camp, or was she with you most of this camp?
Oh, she's here now, and she was gone for like 2 weeks only, and she's back, and yeah, it's good.
And I know Irene Aldana has a fight booked as well. Is she in the gym too? I know obviously different weight class, but
yeah, of course she's always working, and she's there working hard, and yeah, just everyone is just ready to to start camp or finishing camp or middle of their camp. So we everyone at the gym has something coming up. So just imagine the energy, the intensity.
Yeah, no, it's definitely exciting. I referenced Diego Lopez, obviously. What a fight that was with Dan Ige, all the circumstances. Dan gets full credit, and I don't mean to downplay Dan at all. I feel like Diego's not getting enough credit. Big win streak. It was just incredible, and you still have fans criticizing the performance in the third round when it's like how I can only imagine how hard it would be to fight someone on like 24 hours notice, but 3 hours notice. How impressed were you, and how inspiring is that too, just to see someone like him still get up for a big fight like that?
Oh yeah, 100%. Whoever is talking smack is like, you don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, you don't know what fighters go through. You don't know. Like, we are humans. We have our lives. We have our problems. We have our, we're one of everyone else that is like, we are like one of you like watching the fight. It's just that happens that we train and we love this and we're doing this, but like for Diego to do that is really impressive. It's like, whatever you're doing, you let whatever you're doing and you focus on that and to do that and to have all those changes, the weight first and then the opponent in 3-4 hours notice, when that guy show up, and it's just amazing.
And not to mention all the stuff he had to go through prior to that with the weight change, right? Like it was supposed to be featherweight, then it's they try to catch weight, and then it's 155, and then he's out of the fight. So I can only imagine what Diego had to go through. But credit to him as well, because I know obviously Dan deserves all the credit too for taking the fight, but I feel like people got to give Diego a little bit more credit for dealing with that on 3 hours. It's pretty insane.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's like so much stress. It's just so much, and he did it, and he did an amazing job. And like you say, people talk about the last few minutes of the round or the last round. Like, what are you seeing? Like, do you see like all of the stuff that he went through and all of the stuff that he done and he continued to prove himself that he's one of the best in the world. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely awesome. And it looks like he'll be fighting at the Sphere, because I know that's the thing. He kept saying yes to everything, and that's going to open up more opportunities for him, which is great.
Yeah, 100%.
Speaking of the Sphere, so they had Alexa Grasso doing the media for the Sphere, and I think everyone just assumes she's going to fight Valentina on that card, but that fight's not booked yet. What do you think of that? Because it seems like Alexa's kind of ready to go, but I know Valentina, there was some hesitation about the crowd. I don't know if you heard that. Like, what sort of your understanding of what's happening with Alexa right now? Because it seems like she should be fighting in the Sphere.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going to happen with that. I don't know who will be the opponent. I don't know if it's Valentina or if it's someone else. But yeah, I hear a little bit of Valentina not wanting to do that. But Alexa is ready to go. She's good. Whoever they give her, she'll be there that night.
Well, and they have a contender too if they need. I'm sure Mana Fior, right? Her win over Erin Blanchfield, that would be the backup if for some reason Valentina couldn't take that fight. So yeah, I was just curious. I was curious if you had any intel, but I know it's kind of tight-lipped right now to see what's going on there. How about the weight cut? I know training in Mexico is not only easy because the temperature is good, but you're eating really fresh food as well. So I'm sure the weight cut goes a lot easier over there too.
Oh yeah, the weight's just melting. If anything, I had to keep eating. So it's great. I love it.
Good. And it's cheaper too, I bet, right? It's not as expensive.
Oh yeah. Yeah, everything is so much cheaper here. Like what's the food and some other stuff, they're really cheap. A lot of the stuff is like holy, like we're paying the same as Canada or the US. Like it's crazy, but yeah, the food definitely is cheaper and better.
Traveling to the Middle East, like how long is that travel time? When are you actually leaving to go over there?
I will leave on the weekend. Like weekend to weekend.
Okay.
A whole week. And what was the other question?
I was just asking like when you're leaving to like head over there, because I know you got to get acclimatized and everything, right?
Oh yeah, like the Saturday or the Sunday. Okay. And then it's like 18 hours flight or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. It's pretty far. Yeah. Not as close as some of the other fights. Are you excited to go, or would you prefer to have a fight closer?
Yeah, it's exciting to be part of a car like that, far. Like it's okay. It's the first time for me going that far, and I'm excited. I think it's gonna be a good opportunity for me to take my like I'm good to when it's adversity. I'm good on getting on the train. I'm getting on the right foot right away. So it's good. I'm happy.
Who's going to be in your corner? You just mentioned a few names.
So Francisco Grasso, Colin Danes, and Omar.
Okay, cool. That's great.
Yeah, Omar was the one that is also main partners with Alexa, and he was right. He helped her win the belt.
Yeah. Absolutely. Doesn't hurt having him in your corner too. Who knows a little thing or two about winning the championship. So how's this one playing out? Because, Mackenzie, obviously, we know she's going to try and take it to the ground and submit you. How do you envision the fight playing out?
Yeah, I really think she's going to be desperate to check me down or somehow to drag me down to playing her game. I'll be ready for that. And the striking, I don't think she will want to hang with me upstairs, but let's see. I'm ready for whatever. If she wants to, come flying, I'll be ready for that. If she wants to start pacing herself, that's also great for me. I'm ready for anything. I have so many different kind of partners, different kind of views from attacks or people attacking me or whatever, that I feel confident.
Well, and you got to feel good too. You've never been submitted in your career. You've never been finished. So, I mean, she typically wins most of her fights by submission. So if that goes out the window and it stays standing, I would think you have the advantage there, right? So.
Yeah, exactly.
I mentioned Dern being a pretty big name in the division. Where does a win put you? Because I feel like this is the type of name that can get you back in sort of that contender spot, which is kind of where you were before the last fight, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not looking too much into that.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to put too much on my plate. Mm-hmm. But I know a win over Mackenzie, it will be huge for me. It will be huge for my career, and obviously that will project some good decisions. Yeah. Like for me, like it's just naturally. So I'm not pushing everything. I'm not even thinking about that. This is what I have next, and she's not an easy task either. So everything and anything goes towards that.
At the top of your division, obviously, Weili Zhang is a champion, and we don't know when she's going to defend her title, but I would think that Tatiana Suarez will be next for her, I would think. Just looking at that fight, how do you see that fight playing out with Zhang, obviously great striker, Suarez, one of the best wrestlers in your division as well?
That's really interesting, and I cannot wait to watch that fight. I honestly couldn't give you, like the one that I will like.
Can't give a prediction.
I don't know. I have no idea because Tatiana is so good, but also Weili is so good too. So I don't know.
Yeah, no.
It's gonna be a good scrap though.
Yeah, I agree. And it's, by the way, it's not booked yet. We're still waiting to hear what's going on, but I would think that's the fight next because that makes a lot of sense. Switching gears a bit, did you see Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz? Did you see that boxing fight?
I didn't watch the full boxing match, but I did saw a few clips. People said that it was cool, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Would you ever want to go over to boxing? Like, obviously you're in the UFC now, but if there are any like big fights over there, is that something you'd ever consider doing?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, after the UFC, I'm open to do WWE boxing match. Doesn't matter. Once I'm done there, I have plenty of opportunities.
Do you look at someone like Chris Cyborg, for example, who's kind of doing both right now? She's doing, boxing fights while she waits for PFL. Like, I'm sure that's got to be encouraging for someone like you where, like you said, later in your career, you'll have other options, right? Potentially.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if I will do MMA and boxing at the same time, but definitely I will do boxing and something else.
Okay, there we go. Now, this fight's early August. Any party you hope that, maybe this one goes quick, you're injury free, and you can get on that Sphere card and join Diego Lopes?
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, that will be great if that happens. If it doesn't happen, that's fine too. I'll probably be there watching them, screaming their names, and yeah.
Does any part of you want to just fight on that card because of the novelty of it, like the fact that it's like the first card or anything, or does that not matter to you?
Yeah, doesn't matter to me. Like, of course, I wanted to fight there because all my teammates, like Alexa and Diego, and having a full training camp together with Alexa is like so much fun. What happened last year. But at the same time, it didn't happen, and I got this new opportunity, and I get to go to a whole different country, and I got to experience a whole different thing. I'm in the main card. We see, in at the Sphere, it's gonna be so many stars, and it's gonna be huge, right? And of course, I want to be part of that too. But didn't happen, and things happen for a reason, and I'm not upset or anything. Of course, if I'm clear and everything is good, who knows? Maybe I get on it right after this one. But right now it's only Mackenzie.
Before I go, are you heading back to Vancouver at any point? Like, are you going to go after the fight or anything? Or are you going to just stay in Mexico after?
Yeah, well, this all depends on if they say like we want you to fight in September, then I'm coming back here anyways after my fight because my dog is here and I had to pick him up.
Okay. How's your dog like in the being over there? It must be nice.
Oh, he loves it. We went to the beach and he's right here.
What's your dog's name again?
Freddie.
Freddie? Okay, that's cool. So,
yeah.
How is it traveling with a pet? It must be kind of difficult.
Well, he was with me on the plane and it was great. He did amazing. It was only 5 hours, 4 hours, almost 5 hours. Yeah, I mean, he was nervous and he was obviously it's not fun for a dog or for me to have, him there. But at the same time, I feel like I learned a lot from him. Like, I feel like this trip has helped me to like bond even more with him.
There you go.
So I'm happy that he's here.
And we're happy to see you get this fight, Loopy. It's going to be awesome. You, Mackenzie Dern in the Middle East. If there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, any sponsors, any social media you want to mention, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, well, my training partners and my team, they're putting so much work into me, my coaches and my family. And yeah, and you for having me.